Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here at Earth and Sky. Those of you joining us online, we really appreciate all of your likes, loves, your feedback, and your suggestions for talks as well. I wanted to say a little bit of a saying that goes along with Imbolc or Candlemas or Bridget's Day as we're coming up to this holiday. There's an ancient Celtic saying that would go a little bit like this. If Candlemas be fair and bright, come winter, have another flight. If Candlemas bring clouds and rain, go winter and not come again. It is a time when we're celebrating this cross-quarter holiday. So we're right in between Yule, which we just celebrated December 21st, the longest night of the year. And we're halfway between that and Ostara, which we will be coming to in about the same length of time that we just passed Yule. And a nice way to mark the midpoint of this is Imbolc. It's a wonderful time if you feel like sometimes after the holidays it has gotten a bit dull and dreary and a bit snowy and rainy depending on where you are in the world, and you feel like all of those fun festivities and holidays have just flown away. Know that you can celebrate Imbolc. It happens traditionally between January 30th and February 2nd. Most typically it's celebrated on February 1st or 2nd now, and it's a time to celebrate the return of the springs. We're halfway there between winter and spring, and it's a time to really bring in the sense of hope, the sense of the light of the sun coming back. Sometimes people will celebrate the return of the sun at Yule because it's the longest night of the year. It means the very next day you're starting to get that return of the sun. But now, as we approach Imbolc, you can actually start to see a little bit more of that sunlight. We've been experiencing that coming into us. And as it's the return and the rebirth of the sun, it's time to look at that within our own life, to look at the rebirthing within ourselves, to see what do you have that you want to create creatively. What are you wanting to fill yourself up with your fertility? What are you wanting to bring in as your inspiring hope within yourself for the new year? You've made your goals, as we talked about at the beginning of the year. Really halfway between Yule and Imbolc is where you've been making your goals and ready to start off 2022 with new hope and new ideas and new inspiration. So fuel that as we come into Imbolc, as we celebrate Bridget and Breed's Day. And traditionally they would often make corn husk dolls and find different ways to celebrate the goddess Bridget. But it's a time of bringing in the energies that she represents, which is healing, medicine, creativity, fertility, protection. It's a time where you can access much more easily a lot of those energies as you bring that inspiration into yourself. And traditionally, candles were very often used with this ritual. So feasting, of course, is used with pretty much all of the rituals as we follow around the wheel of the year. And most modern holidays involve feasting as well. So you might think of what types of foods would represent protection, creativity, fertility, any of those things for yourself, or healing, or medicine, or magic. And to bring those in throughout this time period and to really tap into that energies. Definitely bringing in the flame, fire, bonfires, or simply a candle inside is going to help you access the energy as well. Traditionally, divination is often done at this time to see what will be forecast for the year that is ahead. As you've entered in the first few weeks of it, now you can see what the rest has in store. So if you want to bring candles or fire in with divination, you might build either a big bonfire or fire in your fireplace and watch the flame. Watch and see what shapes you see emerge. You may cast your question by writing it on paper and tossing it into the fire, and then noticing as that paper burns, what shapes do you see and what inspiration and divination is being foretold through the crackling of the fire and the shapes of the flames and the smoke that you see rise. Traditionally, they would sometimes use candles and water for the divination. divination. And as you ask your question to the candle, you allow the drops of wax to melt into the water and notice what shapes begin to form, and use that as your tool of divination for forecasting what you will be bringing in as we turn, getting closer and closer to the dawning of spring. I hope this gives you some insight and some ideas that you might choose to do yourself, this candle moss or Imbolc, and think of what it is that you really want to grow within yourself. Any holidays that are about fertility aren't just for the aspect of children. It's about fertility in your own life. What creative projects do you have? What are you wanting to create, whether it's work or relationships or something else in life? When you consciously bring your awareness into it and you work on it, then you can really see the magic happen and enjoy the fruits of your labor as we begin turning the wheel again, coming back into the fullness of spring. Before long, we will have the flowers blooming, and before you know it, we'll be back into another summer. So make sure you're setting your intentions now, and I hope that gives you some wonderful inspiration for your own way to celebrate this year. Have a great week, everybody. We will see you next time.